Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of Ask Coach Marie. I'm Marie O'Neill, founder of Padma Life Coaching and your host on this series. Please know that I'm not a therapist and I will never tell you what you must do. Each week on Friday, I release an episode that has 2 questions that I answer from the viewers. In addition to those questions, I talk about various other life renewal topics. Let's go ahead and get started with the questions for this week. Our first question comes from Derek, who is from Philadelphia. And Derek writes, I've spent my life living for everyone else's expectations. This July 4th, I want to declare independence from the good student or the perfect son. How do I start being me? Oh, that is a fantastic question, Derek. And, because you've asked that question, you have taken the first step in actually individuating, because this is something all of us have to go through. We have to individuate so that we can be ourselves without concern for what other people think, the need to please, the fear of rejection, all of that. So because you're at this particular stage, there's a few things that you can do. First of all, of course, pat yourself on the back that you've got the question. And next, think about some of the responses that you've given to people, or maybe you've said yes to something that you wanted to say no to, or you're just accepting of things as they are when you want them to change. Think about a few times when you've actually done that, when you've actually done something that your inner self or your mind says you really don't want to do, but you've done it anyway. Think about how you felt with that and what part of you felt violated. Because whenever we do something that we really don't want to do, there are times when we have to do certain things because it's to save somebody else's life, or there's sometimes when you just need to sacrifice, but it's not an all the time thing. So if you're thinking about how you felt, think about also what response would have been right for you to have made. What was the response? In addition to that, there's a couple of things that you can write out for yourself to help you in the future. But before we get to that, when you're looking at things that you've agreed to and you've not agreed to something that you really wanted to do, and you're thinking about how you felt, think about that part of you that you have violated and ask yourself if it was worth it. The reason I'm asking you to do this is because sometimes we can say we want to change, and yet putting the work in to actually do it is a whole nother ball game. So this is not something that is going to be easy to do, changing this behavior, because number one, you've got to come up with a plan. And that is, if somebody asks you to do something or ask you for something, being able to say, let me check my calendar, let me get back to you, or I'm not sure if I'm available, saying something to buy yourself some time. Whatever it is you want to say, buy yourself some time. And then step away from the situation, take as much time as you need. You might tell the person, hey, I'll get back to you tomorrow, or I'll get back to you in an hour or whatever, but buy yourself some time. And then think about what you really want to do. Do you want to follow through with what the person is asking, or do you want to say no? You can feel that in your body, and a lot of times intellectually whether it's something you want to do or not. If it's not something that you want to do and you've bought yourself some time, then you need to go back to the person and say, oh my goodness, I checked my schedule, or I'm really not able to do that. You don't have to make excuses for why you're not going to do something. It's none of the other person's business. The bottom line is you're just not available, or it's something that you don't want to do. So you need to be polite. Now, this is a muscle that has to be built, which means that it's good for you to come up with a couple of phrases or statements that you can have in your back pocket. So when certain situations come up, and you know what those situations are, when certain situations come up, you know what to say. You may feel a bit shaky at the beginning, and once you start the process, once you do this over and over again, it will become much more easy for you to do. That's how you want to start. Let me know in the comments below if this has helped you. Let me know if you've tried it and what's happened. There's a few other things that you can do, but I'm not going to go into them here on this video. What I'm giving you is something that is simple that you can implement today. So thank you for sending the question in. It's something that a lot of people deal with. I've actually dealt with it myself early on in my life when I was much younger. And I do know that there are people who are dealing with this in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. They just don't know how to say no. So anyway, let me know how you're getting on with this. All right, now we are going to move on to the life renewal topic for today. And the life renewal topic is the sovereignty of self. And this, of course, is based on the question that I just answered. So it's the sovereignty of self, and it is moving from codependence to self-governance. And, when we're children, we are very much dependent on our parents or whoever the caregiver is, because we just can't take care of ourselves. Sometimes we don't individuate. And individuating means you're able to make your own decisions. You're able to move through life without asking someone else their opinion, unless you just really want their opinion. But you know what is right, and you just go ahead and you do it. You are self-sufficient. Doesn't mean that you don't ask for help from your higher mind or whomever it is you pray to. You definitely do that. But you're not dependent on somebody else's opinion for the decisions that you actually make. And this is all about individuation. There's a process everybody goes through. I am no exception. And this process of individuation can take years, sometimes decades to do, because the first thing that happens is you sometimes realize I have been making decisions and saying yes when I need to say no, and I really want to do something else. Other times, family situations actually cause you to need to individuate. Maybe the family isn't there. Maybe you're not close to your family. It could be a myriad of things. But the point is, we have to learn how to depend on our inner knowing, our inner awareness, rather than what is going on, rather than what somebody else thinks. I mean, it is fine to get other people's opinion, but the problem is most people are seeing through their own lenses, their own perceptions, their own biases, and they're giving you information based on that. That information may be right for you, or it may not be. The thing is, you have to be able to contemplate and differentiate the information that others are giving you versus what you're feeling inside. Sometimes what you're feeling inside is usually based on the glasses that you're seeing through. So it doesn't mean that what you're feeling, it's accurate because of you're feeling it, but it doesn't mean that there's different levels of truth. There is the ultimate truth, meaning the laws of the universe that never change. And then there are the other truths, the relative truths that we have here as humans. And that truth shifts based on the information we have, the experiences that we gather. This is why it's important to feel what's going on inside you and take your directions from that so that you can individuate, so that you can become your own best friend. You can depend on yourself. You can trust yourself, because a lot of times we just don't trust ourselves. We don't trust our decisions. Bottom line, the buck stops with you, no one else. If somebody else is talking to you and talked you into doing something, that's fine. However, you're the one who is going to have to deal with the consequences of whatever it is you've done. So I hope that's helped a bit. Let's move on to the second question for this week. Our second question comes from Maya, who is in Austin, Texas. And Maya says, I'm financially independent, but emotionally shackled to my past mistakes. How do I liberate my spirit from regret? This is also a good question. And I can tell you, based on something that has happened to me, I remember, a long time ago, I did something that really wasn't all that great. And I remember my spirit guides, I figured out basically what I was doing was not, or what I had done wasn't top tier. And I apologized to myself. I apologized to my higher mind. I hadn't harmed anybody else. I'd only harmed myself. I remember hearing from my guides saying, now you know, just don't do it again. I mean, of course, there's no punishment anyway, other than how we punish ourselves. There was no need for reparation or beating myself up. When you learn more, you do better or something like that, it's the same thing. So whatever you did in the past, that's in the past. You have learned from that. Hopefully you've grown from that. And you know better now. You honor the person who you were, because that person hopefully did the best that they could with what they knew. And now you are another person. So of course, you take care of the financial issue. If there's any debt or whatever, you want to take care of that. And you want to set yourself up for success. So you change the behavior. You know what? Just honor where you were at that time. Do some type of ritual if you choose to. You don't have to. But you can always do a ritual and talk to the person who you were when you made the mistake, because it's about forgiving yourself, really. So talk to the person and you forgive that part of you and you let it go. That's the best advice that I have for you. All right, I hope that helps. Please comment below in the comment section or, send me an email and let me know how you're getting on. We have come to the end of this week's episode. Please like, subscribe, and hit the little bell so that you're notified when videos are released. Algorithms love it when you like and subscribe. It's the reason that the videos are getting out to other people. If you'd like to send me a question that you would like me to answer, send it to padmacoach@icloud.com. It's padmacoach@icloud.com. I do have a free 5-day e-course. It's a downloadable e-course for you. It's on my website and it's designed to help you jumpstart your process to healing. So go to my website, padmalifecoaching.com, and you'll see the free downloadable 5-day e-course there. Go ahead and download it and start using the prompts. In addition to that, my book, if you would like to learn more about me and the journey that I've taken, my book is And the Lotus Opened, a memoir. You can find that book anywhere online books are sold. In it, I talk about my life and some of the traumas that I've had to work through during my life. In addition to that, I am going to be at the United Astrological Conference this September. If you're in Chicago, I believe it's September 3rd through 9th, I will be there at the conference. I'm giving a lecture and also on a panel discussion with OPA, which is a professional astrology organization. I thank you for spending your time with me, and I will see you back here next week. Bye-bye.